gave you some homework to do in the last video, and that was to style the rest of the login pages. So here's what we did in the sign in page, and essentially all you have to do was copy this styling right here and put it in the sign up pages and the forgot your password page. So if we take a look at our sign up page here, you'll see again same styling with different content in the middle here. And for the forgot your password, again same thing up here except different content. Alright, so those are all looking the same. Let's take a look at our application. Now we've got users, we've got an About Us page. I think the next step is to actually create restaurants so that users can review those restaurants. And what I'm thinking is that we'll have this button right here be a write a review button or create a restaurant button. So before we do any of that, let's close out of these files. Let's go to our routes file, and if we take a look at our rake routes here, you'll see that we have devise and then our pages paths right here. What we want to do is say resources, restaurants, and we save it. Now let's take a look at what happens when we run rake routes again. It goes through and creates all of our CRUD actions, our create, read, update, delete actions. And it's got a few other things in here like edit, show, new, index right here. Excuse me. Index up here, I'm sorry. So it goes through, creates all of our CRUD actions, and now we have access to create and delete restaurants. And so let's go into our index restaurant and how we wanted to change this buy it now button to a write a review button. What we can do is actually, let's just keep that there. Put a link to write a review. And now where is it linking to, or where is it linking to? If we go in here, you'll see that we have this new action right here. It's a new restaurant. So this is the action that we want to target. We want to create a new restaurant. So we say new restaurant path, and you can actually take all of this class, all of this styling right here, and style it like this. And then get rid of that previous link. So now if we do a refresh, it turns into a write a review button, and if we click on it, now it's saying that we don't have a new action in the restaurants controller. So if we go into the restaurants controller, just delete that and say new, and now do a refresh, now it's saying that we have a missing template. Go to our app, views, restaurants, do a save, and call it new html.erb. And now when we do a refresh here, you can see that we have a blank page, that we don't really have anything here. But this is where we would want to create a form so that when we click on it, we can enter in the name, description, address of the restaurant, and when we click submit, it'll go through and create a new restaurant for us. So in here, we'll want to put in a form. First, before we do that, let's go into our restaurants and say at restaurant equals restaurant new. So this is just basically saying create a new restaurant for us. And now when we go into our new view, it's a form for at restaurant. So it's saying grab this new restaurant that you've just created and do something with it. And what we're going to have it do is label name text field And let's just take a look at what that does real quick. So it creates a field for us to enter in the name. Now, instead of having to type everything off of memory, again, I like doing this so that I can, oh, actually, wrong file, the new file here, so that it can autocomplete for me. So I like saying, we need description next. Description. And actually, description is not going to be a text field, it's going to be a text area, because it's going to be, for generally, it's going to be something that's a little bit longer, so more of a paragraph or a couple paragraphs versus just one line of text. So everything else can be text field though. One. Here's two. City. State. Zip code. We'll just fill in. I'm just going to do it like this. Phone and then email. And we cannot forget the submit button. Submit. Now we can go through and get rid of all of this. Now if we do a refresh, this is what our form looks like. Now we haven't added any sort of styling to this, and so that's why it looks ugly right now. But let's test out the functionality, and then we can get back to how to style this and make this look a lot better than what it looks like right now. So if we do a name here, say Tom's Bistro, and we can leave everything else blank for now. Create restaurant, it's going to say, hey, we don't have a create action. So what we can do is go through and create that in our restaurants controller. So define create at restaurant equals restaurant new, and we're going to say restaurant params. So if we go down and create a private method here of restaurant params, we'll say params dot require restaurant permit. Here is where let's grab it from our schema again. Here's where I like to kind of cheat a little bit. Name, description, address 1, address 2, and city, state, zip code, phone, and to make this look a little bit better so it doesn't go off the screen, you can put it in 2 lines and then get rid of it. Now I'll do a save, and actually before we do that, I forgot the restaurant. Let's save, and once it saves, we want to redirect it to the restaurant that we just created. So let's do a refresh. Now it's saying, hey, we don't have a show action. So let's create a show action. Define show. And what's it going to show us? Well, if we do it just like that, first of all, we don't have a view for it. So say show html.brb. Now do a refresh, and there you have it. We have nothing here, but it takes us to the show page of this restaurant. So that's how you create a restaurant in the application. We started off with, it's not taking us anywhere. So we started off with write a review, put in a name here of however you want, steakhouse, create restaurant, and now it takes us to the restaurant show page. So that's how we create a restaurant. In the next video, we're going to, first of all, fix the form of creating a restaurant and make it look a little bit better, and then we'll start filling in the show page right here.